Hey everybody, Brent Florica here, and welcome back to Sketchbook B. Today I am going to do two drawings actually. As you can see, I'm playing them both at the same time, of Coby and Cory Cotton, the twins from Dude Perfect, as superheroes. I've had so much fun with this series, and these two were really fun to do. So happy with how they turned out. I decided to go with speedsters because these two guys, they're so high energy, they have this really athletic build, both of them, and so I thought, a speedster character would be a really good fit. And though I couldn't find any speedster twins per se that I kind of wanted to go with, I decided to choose two characters that themselves are twins in the comics, even though they may not be twins of each other. So we have for Cory, Marvel Comics Quicksilver character in the sort of Secret Empire purple and white suit. That I really like the simplicity of it, and it was really fun to kind of try a really simplified design and to make that look good. And then for Coby, I decided to try something a little more complicated, admittedly, and go with the sort of future Flash suit version of Barry Allen from DC Comics. And Barry and Quicksilver here, they're both actually twins in the comics. And especially with the Flash, that's not kind of common knowledge, but it's a sort of strange bit of trivia for you. In one storyline, he finds out he actually has a twin that he didn't know about. So there you go. They both are twins. I didn't entirely veer off of that because I wanted to stay somewhat true to that for the purposes of this challenge here of mine, to do all these Dude Perfect guys. So moving into the inking stage here after my rough pencils, this was a really nice smooth process for me. I feel like because I've done several of these now, I'm starting to find my groove when it comes to penciling and proportions and stuff, especially with the drawing of Cory. I really felt like this one is one of my best ones in terms of getting the proportions down and the general shape of the body and the pose and stuff, not feeling super stiff. I was really happy with how this one turned out, and had a lot of fun with just working with his simple visual design. In particular, it was a real challenge to try and make them look like themselves in their faces. Especially with pen and ink, I'm finding, it's a real challenge to draw people in a way that you can tell at a glance, like, this looks like that person. I'm much more comfortable with pencil. That's kind of my jam. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the process of pushing myself with pen and ink to try and learn more and get better at doing faces and, especially identifiable faces. And so I was actually pretty happy with how these two turned out. And I think they do kind of look like them, so I'm fairly satisfied with that. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, but hopefully you think it somewhat resembles them. And with the Flash version here on the right, I had a lot of fun just doing all of these details. It's a really complicated suit, but especially since I was going really simple with Cory's suit, I thought with Coby's I would go a little more intense with the details and stuff, and that was really fun. For both of these, I used my my new Tombow pens, my brush pens, which I'm really falling in love with. They're awesome. And while I kind of used it for the entirety of the Cory drawing, for the one of Coby, I mixed in a little bit of my 0.05 micron pen, just because there's a lot of glow effects going on, and I'm going to do some digital stuff with that when I combine it into one poster. But for the time being, I don't want the line work to overpower these areas where there's going to be light glowing. So I decided to just use a really fine pen for those parts, just so that the line work doesn't overpower. I still use the Tombow though for the thicker outlines and darker shadow areas. Moving in with my trusty Copic markers, had so much fun with these. On the left there you have Cory's drawing, and that one, just a really simple purple on white color scheme. Really enjoyed it. It was almost like color by number because it was so simple, but at the same time, just I don't know, I love the way this drawing turned out. Something about it for me. I'm just really happy with the pose and just the color scheme in the suit and everything. I'm just really happy with how that one turned out. Coby's was definitely a tedious one to try and do. As you can see, I had to block out around the areas that would be glowing. I left those areas white, went around it with a very light blue. Then in the areas where there was armor plating, I went around those with a little bit of a darker blue and then black in the center. And I used a Copic marker for the black instead of a pen so that I could try and blend it in a little bit with the blue markers and achieve that sort of glow look. Let me know how I did in the comments. It was a bit of a challenge to achieve the look that I was kind of hoping for, but I feel like it was pretty successful. I definitely was happy with the end result, and hopefully you enjoy it too. But it was just a blast to do all of this detail stuff, and knowing that it was all going to come together in a full poster. There was a lot of lightning usually around the Flash when he's moving around, but I decided to kind of forego that stuff only because when I put them all together into one sort of poster, I didn't want there to be a whole bunch of lightning covering up like other characters and stuff and kind of making the poster not really work. So that's going to be in my video next week where I assemble them all together and kind of put this poster together. So make sure you tune in next week for that, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted when my videos come up. But I'm really happy. I think these two ended up being my favorites from this series, and truthfully I really liked them all. I sat down to look at them and I thought, man, which one's my favorite? I genuinely liked them all, but something about these two just really made me happy, and so I'm really excited to now go and put them together and see how that turns out, and hopefully I can do something pretty cool with it. So really excited for that. We're approaching the end here, moving through the final stages of coloring. The suits are basically completed, and all that remains is coloring the faces. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you do, please. Really helps me out. And I'll see you next time when I combine them all together. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for joining me at Sketchbook B. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with any artsy people you may know. I really enjoyed this piece. I hope you like how it came together. You can check out the playlist here to see all of the other dudes that I've drawn, and I'll see you next time. Take care.